I am starting to implement girl math into my
Girl
gambling.
math, DJ math.
DJ math is on another level. It's sophisticated.
Casino trip, full of chips. Wanna flip, double it.
Welcome to the Full of Chips podcast, the only chips you'll never lose, where the stakes are high, the takes are bold, and the conversations are always full of chips. With your hosts, Chris the Dice Degen and Craig from Old Bay Craps, you're tuned in to Full of Chips, the podcast where we dive into our experiences gambling and stories straight from the casino floor. Whether you're a seasoned pro at the craps table or just curious what the buzz is about, you're in the right place. Each week, we break down the games, talk to the experts, and bring you tips that could tilt the odds in your favor. So grab your lucky charm, stack your chips, and let's roll into today's episode. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 27 of the Full of Chips podcast, the only chips you'll never lose, with your hosts, Chris the Dice Degen and Craig from Old Bay Craps. Craig, how are we tonight?
We're fired up, motherfucker. We are fired up. We've just been talking in the green room for, I don't know, what feels like 45 minutes of ranting about sports betting, losses, how to lose a bankroll in 30 minutes or less. And I think we're fired up. Is it the alcohol? No, because we just started the drinking, guys. We just started. You can't get that fired up with just a couple of sips. You got to be fired up beforehand, and then the sips calm you down. That's how you do it.
That is factual information for the folks at home. Also, factual information. I know people always say this, and I never really bought into it. But Craig, you've been married for a long ass time. You probably know that this is true. That women are usually right.
100%. It doesn't help that the last name is right. Okay.
No, the women are usually right? But the girls and their girl math stuff, let me tell you something here, all right? When it hurts my wallet, I don't like the girl math, right? Go to Target, this, and girl math and this, and girl math and that. I don't like it. However, in the green room, we were talking about, the degen math, which I am starting to implement girl math into my
Girl
gambling.
math, degen math.
Degen math is on another level. It's sophisticated, right? It's like, so I'll set the scene for the folks at home. And Degen has to come clean here because Degen didn't listen to his own stuff he always says, right? And like I said, I've made the mistakes, right? I try to preach and talk from a area of I've done this, so please don't do it. Not saying that I won't do it again, right? Because we're human. But the wife this morning had a flight at like 3:00 in the morning. So Degen being a good husband, I take her to the airport, right? Well, Harris Chester's 10 minutes from the Philadelphia International Airport. So after I drop her off, she's waiting for her plane. I'm waiting there, make sure there's no delays because all this freaking weather we have, who knows what's going on there, all that kind of shit. So I go to the casino and 3 a.m., scary hours at the casino, let me tell you. But scary hours for DJ's bankroll because that shit went up quick. But girl math, it took me an hour and a half to lose it, as opposed to when I lose it sometimes in 30 minutes on a coffee run when we play craps sometimes. So girl math, this was actually a win. It took me an hour and a half to lose it instead of 30 minutes.
I can get with that. That makes sense. When you girl math it, you last a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what women want
at the
right?
table.
You to last longer.
I don't know.
That's up to your however you want to perceive that information. But
right.
Yeah, so why do I have to come clean? Well, Degen did not walk away from the table when he should have. He knew he should have, and he didn't do it. And yes, I'm talking the third person. That's the mistake that was made, talking in the third person. And I know. But I should have walked away at a certain point. I didn't. And it cost me. Now, am I mad at myself for not walking away? Maybe a little bit. Was I there to kill time? Yeah. What else am I going to do at Harris Chester at 3:00 in the morning besides go walk to the prison across the street?
Maybe you should have played 6-8.
Well, I wish the craps table was open. It wasn't. They literally, I walk in, they had, obviously slots are open. Them shits never close. There's a reason they never close, by the way. There was one blackjack table open, which is what I played, Spanish 21, and one roulette table.
Sometimes that's a good enough indicator that you should have just skipped it, maybe.
Probably. But again, what's there to do at Harris Chester 3 o'clock in the morning? Nothing.
Sports betting.
Yeah. I was watching the Australian Open tennis while I was playing at the tables. I should have just went to the sports book and watched that. But, hey, you know what? I can own up to my mistakes. I should have walked away. I didn't. But it's a good lesson reinforcing the fact that when you know you should walk away, walk the hell away. Don't sit there and think that you can do something different to make it better. Your best choice, get up and walk away.
You should.
You
You
should.
certainly don't want to sit there and chase your losses.
Definitely not. Definitely not. You know what's a problem too at Harris Chester at 3 o'clock in the morning, Craig? Well, there's like no staff working. No beverage ladies, no nothing. DJ can't even get a coffee. DJ can't even get a water. DJ was parched at the tables, but he's not parched right now. And Craig, I know you're not parched either. What are you drinking?
No. I've gone to the good stuff. It's that bullet bourbon with a little bit of Coke and a little bit of Coke.
A little bit of Coke. Emphasis on the little. Well, Craig, I'm glad you're having extra bourbon with your little bit of Coke because you are drinking for both of us tonight. Because DJen is not drinking tonight. Because DJen has to go drive to the airport after this to go pick up the wife. Her flight lands at like 1 a.m. DJen has been up for, I don't know, 20-something hours, 24 hours at this point, and we're still going. We don't have any end in sight. So I have my lost count after like 7 cups of coffee today. So here's number, who knows?
There
And
you
of
go.
course, water. But we got coffee tonight because drinking and driving is bad, folks. And yes, it can be one drink, but I don't like to drive impaired at all. I have a rule. I've had friends who have, done stupid stuff. I have had people close to me who have been severely injured from drunk driving and stuff. So I personally have a rule that if I know I'm driving, I will not drink a sip. Just my own rule.
It will be coffee.
Coffee. Water. You've got brown water. I've got extra brown water because my coffee is dark.
Yeah, you have to drink the coffee, but you have to remember to pee before you go to the airport. Otherwise, you're sitting there waiting for your significant other to come out of the portal there, and if you have to go, it sucks.
I
So
already know it's going to be a problem. I already know. I mean, I got the bladder the size of a pea anyway. So, like, I already know I'm going to have to piss when I'm in the car. So, I'm probably going to run to the airport to pee anyway at some point because
nice.
I'm going to have to.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. You got to prepare for it. Then it's like, okay, now just watch TV, and now you're noticing you're falling asleep, and you're like, Jesus Christ, if I don't leave when I'm supposed to, I'm gonna get the shaft.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, what a great little opening segment. I love the bullshitting. It's my favorite. I wish I recorded the first 40 minutes of our chitter chatter because that was fantastic. Folks at home, I guess you guys can just imagine what the two of us were talking about. But all I know is Craig has spent way too much time with me recently because his sports betting journey is quite young and he's already on Korean basketball. So he's spending way too much time with me.
I love it.
There you go. He loves it.
I'm a fan of the live betting. I am. And you know what? You know what's not live during the day? NBA, football, NFL. They're not live during the day.
No. That's
But
why we like
Australian
soccer,
basketball
man.
is, Korean basketball is, China basketball is.
They are.
But I stay away from snooker. Good God. Forget it. I can't.
I remember you texting me asking me to explain what snooker is. And I think I said to you, snooker is like pool with more balls, more confusing rules, and no clue what's going on.
No, when they get those, what was that dart game we were talking about? The suction dart?
Oh, pop darts.
Pop darts. They got to get those in there.
Yeah. They got it, right? Eventually? I
All
mean,
right.
could you imagine, like, 3 a.m. at the casino, ESPN streaming a pop darts tournament?
That'd be great. I at least got to watch it a few times to understand how it works.
Yeah. For
That would be
sure.
go with like planning, planning. Like you have to know about the game, know the rules. Don't
Yeah.
bet on shit you don't know how it's going to go. That's just asinine. You might as well just
Yeah.
take your money, light it on fire in front of you, and try to blow it out before you blow your house up.
There you go. Have I ever told you how I started betting on cricket?
Not how you started on cricket, but yeah, I know you've bet on cricket.
All right, so we'll get into the actual podcast topics eventually here. This is not a sports betting episode, but it's a great story. So me and my buddy go to Ocean in Atlantic City. And we were degenning it up. We were doing whatever we were doing. We go to the clubs, taking an Uber back to his house like 3 o'clock in the morning. See, again, 3 a.m. is a very scary time in Degen's world because pure degeneracy comes out at 3 a.m. So we're in the car in Uber back to his house. We got like a 35-minute Uber back to his house, right? We're sitting there talking, and I'm looking what the hell to bet on, right? I need something to bet on this ride home because I'm bored out of my mind, and I need something to wake up to in the morning, fully cashing in the account. This is when Degen was not very smart with the sports bets and just did what he wanted. Anyway, I'm driving in this Uber, and the only thing on is cricket. And I'm like, all right. So then me and my buddy are in the backseat talking about cricket. Little did I know, there was a cricket aficionado driving the damn Uber. So me and this guy talked cricket for 35 minutes, the entire Uber ride, talking cricket. Did I know what I was talking about? Absolutely not. Was I Googling shit in the back seat while he was talking? Absolutely was. So I basically took a crash course in cricket. And that's what started the cricket betting.
There you go.
There you
They
go.
can start. That's how a lot of things start. But why flat bet at the casino though? Why?
Why?
A lot of people hate it, from what I hear. But why
It's
flat
boring.
bet? It is boring. You know who I bet loves flat betting? Probably Lou.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's no different
Yeah.
than Lou playing than turning his bets off. It's basically like flat betting without losing anything.
Yeah. The misconception with flat betting is a lot of people think it's very, very boring and they want some fancy schmancy system to show off when they're playing. Folks, let me tell you something. Flat betting works way better.
I was just gonna
And
say, Chris and I have played strategies and systems, and we wish we had flat bet because we would have lost a lot less.
yeah, no, 100%. And I'm not going to talk about many specific systems today. I know some people like when we get into the specifics of actual systems. That's a future episode because I could spend countless hours talking about crap systems and different shit like that. But today, just talking flat betting versus the fancy stuff that you see. And for all intents and purposes of this conversation, anything that's not a flat bet is considered a fancy bet.
Well, not to use Lou as another reference, but have you ever seen Lou stressed? He's never stressed when he plays. And it's like, if I were to flat bet, I think it would be less stressful, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have the impulse. You just throw that out the window. You stay steady, you stay calm, and you flat bet. And you definitely would avoid chasing your losses. Because if you lost it, okay, you lost a basic bet. Like
Yep.
you can choose to put one out there again, or you can choose not to play it, or you can choose to play something else.
Yeah. It
You know.
certainly helps preserve your bankroll. And this is kind of going back even to like what we said with we were talking with Clay, right? And he was saying the same thing. And again, Lou, I'm going to use you as an example here, brother, because Clay used you as an example in that interview. But like, when we said Lou might be down $80, we're down a hell of a lot more than that. On the flip side of that, Lou might be up $80 and we're up a lot more than that sometimes. But bankroll wise, flat bet is going to help you preserve a bankroll, right? All the fancy systems, unless you're properly bankrolled, and we always say this, most people think they're properly bankrolled. You are not properly bankrolled to play a lot of these systems you see on YouTube, right? I mean, even the videos when people put them out aren't with a proper bankroll. Even if you know they're playing with fun money, they're usually not done with a proper bankroll. Why? Because if they used a proper bankroll, you'd be like, well, I could never even try this system because I don't have anywhere near enough money. Well, you don't.
Yeah, but think about it. You don't chase systems like martingaling, which is horrendous, after losses, right? It forces you into bigger bets at the worst possible times. You don't want that. Flat betting never digs you into a deeper hole.
Yep.
You know,
That's
your
it's
bankroll.
funny.
You already said it. Your bankroll lasts longer. You know, I guess I have to try it because I've never tried flat betting, and I'm like, maybe it can last for more rolls and have more fun and more chances to catch a heater. Because basically,
Yeah,
what do we do when we all get to a table? Some people go in, or we'll give credit to other podcasts that say tiptoe in, but you creep in waiting for the heater, so you minimize your losing waiting for that heater to happen. Will it happen within one round of the table? Possibly. Oftentimes, maybe one person out of the table gets a good roll. But again, a good roll to one person could be a horrendous roll to another person. You definitely don't flat bet in the in the field. You don't flat bet on prop bets. You know,
definitely not. Definitely not. And please, please, you brought up the martingale already. Please do not martingale the field
no,
or Fibonacci the field.
no,
All
please.
right. It always gets me. And like, I don't know why people think the martingale and the Fibonacci are the two like best ways to play. Like even blackjack, people love martingaling blackjack and Fibonacciing. And for folks at home, martingale, you double your previous bet. That's all it is. 1 unit, your next bet's 2 units, your next bet's 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, so forth and so on. All right. That's what you do. The Fibonacci is it's a series of numbers where your next bet is the sum of your previous 2 bets, if that makes sense. So like if you bet 1 unit, your next bet would be 1 unit, but then your next bet would be 2 units, your next bet would be 3 units, 5 units, 8 units, 13, 21, I think 34. I think that's the sequence. But basically, you take your previous 2 bets, add them together. That's your next bet.
But at the same time, it removes that illusion of beating math because you can't beat the math. The betting systems, don't change the house edge.
Nope.
Flat betting accepts the math, right? Um, instead of pretending to outsmart it, it'll usually lead to a longer stay at the table. And
Yeah.
that's what you want. You want a longer stay at the table. We've all been through multiple PSOs. It sucks. And you never know, and not many people are smart enough to go from, even if you're flat betting the don't or flat betting your DC bets, a lot of people who start off, I guess, learning about the don't will start doing flat DC bets and no odds, just flat betting. Some people do flat betting on come bets just to see how the table's going at first, because if you flat bet it and 7 rolls after a point's made, you've won your come bet. But I think it keeps you focused and focused on good decisions.
Yeah. It removes the emotion from a lot of things,
Right.
right? Which is where you kind of want to be in the casino, right? You really don't want to be emotional in a casino. And I'm not saying you're going to be sitting there crying at the tables, but you want to try to remove the emotion and just be very even keeled. And flat betting can help you do that, right? And the other thing with the fancy systems are they typically make you chase losses, right? Because you're gonna, if you, like Craig said, right, you get a PSO right out of the gate. Well, now what are you doing? Does your system that you're playing have some sort of progression in it? You're getting your bets
Does
up
it have a
higher already.
recovery?
Does it have a recovery? Like, what does that system look like, right? A lot of people like these ladders, right? I'm not totally against ladders. The only problem with ladders are you can get up high on that ladder very, very quickly, right? The fall from the top of that ladder it can be devastating, right? Because you think, well, I'm not martingaling, I'm not Fibonacciing, I'm just laddering.
But here's the thing: the laddering, you have to have the bankroll to ladder. You can't ladder without a good bankroll.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it time and time again. We've talked to people who do ladder, and they have high bankrolls because they can do that. They can go to that 5th, 6th level and not think twice about it. But you can't do that with $300. You can't do that with
Mm-mm.
$500. What are you laddering to? You're basically laddering to the end of your bankroll, hoping that that last ladder is the one that brings you back to even. I think one of the thing I like about flat betting is that it frees you up at the table to enjoy, watch, wait for that heater, stay disciplined instead of, triggering yourself with a stupid strategy that has some kind of sequence that you have to keep on top of regardless of what's rolling. But again, does it have a recovery? Because you can't just keep to a strategy only for it to lose and not have a backup plan, or not have a plan at all and say, I'm going to try this strategy out. Don't try strategies out, folks, at the casino. Try them out on your table. Try them out multiple times over multiple days, over multiple shooters. Then make a decision of whether you want to play it at the casino. You know,
Yeah. You gotta really understand the strategy or the system, and you have to know it frontwards and backwards. You cannot watch it once and think, I know this, I'm gonna go play it. You can't do that for one reason and one reason only. If you get confused at the tables and you don't play the system properly, you're screwed more often than not, right? You might get lucky every once in a while. You made a good mistake, let's say, but more often than not, when you are trying to play some new system and you get lost or you don't know where you're going with the strategy, you shit out of luck and you don't know what to do because now you're like, well, what do I do? Now you're focused on what did I see them do? What was going on in that video? Did they go here? Did they do this? If you were flat betting, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You don't have to change anything.
I think it's also hard to follow a strategy if you're not writing things down. You know,
Yeah.
if you're just trying to do it by memory and then something odd that normally wouldn't happen at a table happens at a table because odd things happen all the time, now you may not know what the next sequence in that strategy is. But I think that kind of goes into our second topic, Chris, because you mentioned about, well, what if you lose on the first shooter? What do you do next? And I think a lot of people chase their losses by trying the strategy again. Whereas if you flat betted, you're not really chasing your losses because all you lost was just a flat bet. Did you flat bet across, or did you just flat bet one number or two numbers? I would say if you're doing like, even if you do 66 inside, you flat bet it. You just keep bringing back 21, 21, 21. It didn't work out. Okay, you're going to go out there again. A lot of people that we see at Atlantic City do 66 inside, and they kind of flat bet it. But oftentimes they do it until they're out of the hand, and then they start pressing. But I've never actually seen somebody just flat bet for the entire session, even if it was a heater.
Yeah. And I think from like a psychological standpoint, right? It's hard to flat bet on a heater. You want to get more money out there, right? And we're not sitting here telling you flat bet nonstop and that's it, right? That's not what we're saying here. Flat betting in the beginning is very, very good. If you're on that heater and you want to start pressing up after the fact, I don't care. Do what you want. Right? Because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to flat bet on a 50 roller. And if you ever see me flat betting on a 50 roller, somebody call the ambulance because something's wrong with me.
Somebody take DJ's temperature because he's got to be not feeling right.
He's got a fever or something. Something's going on. There's no need to get super, super fancy from the start. Right? In your 66 example, right? 66, 3 hits at $21 payments, you're basically out of the hand for $3 in the hand. If you can't afford the $3, you shouldn't be gambling in the first place, right? If you want to start doing stuff after that, fine, do what you want. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, you can't do that. But there's no need to do some ridiculous thing where like you start at this and then you're doing this and then you're doing this. And on your third hit, you've already made 3 completely different betting strategies on the table, right? That's not what you want to do. And I know some people are, big fan of their, super high initial bet, regress. If that's how you want to play, fine. Why not just leave that bet out there twice, let it hit, regress after that, then do what you want after that? But
I actually think a combination of flat betting and turning off your bets is probably a good idea on a table where there's a lot of short rolls. And short rolls, I mean anywhere from establishing a point to maybe 4 to 5 more rolls. Maybe a total of like 8 to 10 rolls. If it goes around the table and it's like 6 to 10 rolls, and at least a point's being made most times, with flat betting, you're probably able to get one hit before a 7 out. But by doing that, you've reserved your bankroll for when that heater does happen. But like Chris said, if you're at a table and you're flat betting and the 6 has been hit 8 times, just take your money, take your chips, and go to the cage because you're an asshole and you shouldn't be in the casino. Or you just should write a book called Why I Hate Cash and Why I Hate Money and just go that route. But then again, if it sells really well, you're going to make money on that. So if you hate money, I don't know, just write a bad novel. I don't know what you want to do, but
They'd write a
I can tell
short
you that
story.
flat betting sounds like a good idea for a cold table because maybe you just go out for one number. And, you
Yeah.
know, and obviously a lot of people go for the 6 and 8, and that's all they'll play. And that's fine. And then if you flat bet, you need 2 hits, one of each, and you're out of the hand. That can happen. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen multiple times. Obviously, if you have a table and like the whole corner, because I've been on it, has like 3 or 4 PSOs, after that second PSO, you should have changed the way you're betting.
Yep.
Like
And
you said before, you don't let people beat you twice. You know, Ed said it, Jeff said it. You don't let don't players beat you twice. You don't let somebody who has short rolls beat you twice. Change the way you're betting after that happens. Because people who chase losses don't do that. They continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen.
definition of insanity. But see, this is the thing, right? Like, because I already know people are going to be in the comments. Well, on the heater, you're not going to make any money. We've already addressed that. How many times are you on the table for a heater? And don't tell me it happens all the time to you, because if that happens all the time to you, you better go play the lottery every time too, because you're lucky. Most rolls, right? The average 6 to 8, depending who you ask, right? There's not many fancy systems that are going to outdo flat betting in those amount of rolls, right? Greg said, 6 is hitting. Sure, press up your 6. No problem. You've already collected on it maybe twice. So go ahead, press it. Do whatever you want. That's fine. But like, what gets me always is when you see those systems, right? Where it's like you press, you press, you press, and you finally collect on the 4th hit. You know how hard it is to get 4 hits sometimes on a craps table? It doesn't happen. And then what do you do when you lose 2 of those consecutively in a row? Well, let me tell you something. On that 3rd shooter, if you get that 4th hit, congratulations. You've won half the money from the 1st shooter. What are you doing now? Right? Well, to recover that, you got to go up on your bets and increase your bets. And you get into a whole world, right? And a lot of people are going to, it's a buzzword, right? Variance. Variance, you can actually manage variance when you flat bet, right? Helps you survive those cold spurts at a table, right? You don't get crazy on your bets unless you have one of those heaters. But at that point, you should be getting kind of crazy on your bets because that's how you're going to make money at the tables, right? But you flat bet to get there, and it keeps those variants of short rolls, long rolls closer to the normal, right? And it helps you to maintain that bankroll like we've been saying.
That's a good point. And we kind of alluded to it just a little bit, but we kind of went back to, you know, flat betting for a minute, but the brain hates to be down, Chris. We've all
It
chased
does.
losses before. We all have to learn to not do that. You know, losses feel twice as painful as wins feel good, you know? But you can't fix something that's broken. You just have sometimes you just have to accept that it's broken for that day or that session and gather up your things and either walk away, which we've said before, or you have to change what you're doing. You can't chase losses on the same shit. It you know, even though it has that illusion of control, I mean, time and time again, all players we've seen before and other gamblers, they convince themselves we're due. I'm just due. I know it's due. You know, it's that next one. That next one's got it. One more roll, you know, to correct the universe. And guess what? The shit doesn't happen. You're stuck in a mental trap, and you can't free yourself from the idiocracy that you're doing right now at the table.
Yep. You made a good point with like with the losing, like let's say you lose $100. Most people think that hurts more than winning $100, right? Like you're gonna remember that loss. And it usually comes due to what they call like the sunk cost fallacy, right? Where it's I've already put in this much time, this much money. I can't leave now, right?
So what do? They fucking double down.
Yeah.
And they're
And they
like,
chase their loss. And what
exactly.
does chasing losses usually lead to? Right? You don't want to be on tilt in a casino because that's how you lose a lot of money very, very quickly, right? Chasing losses is one of the worst things you can do, which is why flat betting is good because it helps you to not chase, right? If you're going to sit there and bet 25, 25, 25, 25, you know what your next bet is. You're not sitting there 25. Oh shit, I lost 50. I lost 100. I lost 200. I hope you got money with you, because at this point you already sunk $450 into the hand almost.
I think the other thing is, obviously everyone loves a comeback story, but oftentimes when you hear of a comeback story where somebody won it all back, I don't think they were doing the same thing. They changed at
No.
least something. They altered the way they were betting, or they took a break, went back on, took a break, or they watched the table. Like I've told the story at the Mirage when I was down to 226 and I was playing a certain way, and I was like, okay, I got to change what I'm doing. And I came back and broke even pretty much. I think I won $6 profit, but hey, coming back and winning, and we all love those kind of stories, but I'm sure I was chasing losses at that time until something happened, but I had to change the way I was doing something or change the way you're betting because you could talk to a lot of dealers, and I guarantee dealers will say, this guy was doing this, and it looked like he just obliterated his bankroll. And for whatever reason, there was a huge comeback. He lasted another hour at the table. But for what? I don't think they won a lot of profit that night. They probably won back where they came, what they came in with. But nah, it's a mirage.
That.
It it just
Yeah.
doesn't it just doesn't happen often enough. It's just like I don't know. It's just like being waiting for a heater. The reason we love talking about a heater is because it does not happen a lot. And if it happens multiple times in the night, possibly just a good night, whereas maybe the 2 sessions earlier in the day, because Chris and I have been there, Atlantic City, the 2 sessions, the morning coffee run and the midday were atrocious. And so the nighttime just happened to be good, but we didn't go into the last session of the day thinking, I'm going to double everything. I'm going to double down. I'm going to go power press now. Why? You just spent 2 sessions losing all your envelopes, and now you're going to take your last envelope and just start doing crazy shit? No, don't chase your losses, folks.
Yeah. And this is the thing with a lot of the fancy systems, right? They encourage the chase,
Sure.
right? Flat betting doesn't encourage a chase. You have some of these systems, right? And we talked about the ladder, right? The martingale, the Fibonacci. They're all based on losing and betting more when you're losing. Who wants to bet more when they're losing, right? You want to bet more when you're winning. This is why we were saying there's nothing wrong with pressing after you flat bet for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But there is something wrong with you continuously going up and up and up on your bets, chasing your losses, because then again, it leads to tilt usually, because you're going to start losing those bets, right? Then you're betting even more money. Then you have the emotion of, well, I'm typically a 66 inside player. Now I'm at 330. How the hell did I end up here, right? You're sweating every single roll at the table at that point because
And
you
you're
don't want to
losing that
lose.
330.
Yeah, and you don't want to lose it. So now you're tense and you're sweating every roll. That's a problem. You don't want to be like that. You want to be calm, under control, not dealing with the emotion, with the tilt. And sometimes, it could be due to, social pressures at the table and stuff where like, it's bad and you don't want to look like a little bitch. So you want to go up on your bets. Nothing wrong with looking like a little bitch at the table. All right. You look like a genius if the table keeps going to hell.
I'll tell you this, because I've experienced it with sports betting already. I feel that when you're learning something, that's probably when you chase losses the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because you get so angry that something happened, and you're like, you let your emotion take over, and your emotion is the one making the next bet. It's not you; it's your emotion making the next bet. But we've talked to players who, veteran players, and what's funny is that when they chase a loss, tell you that's what they were doing. Like, yeah, I chased it. I wanted to take a chance. It didn't happen. So I'm still down, blah, 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 1700 for the trip. They kind of know that they'll make it back when they go back to their discipline for a trip, but we've seen it before, and we've talked to people that have done that. But I don't know much there is else to say about chasing loss, because it all just comes down to don't do it. Chris and I have been telling
Yeah.
you for 27 episodes, don't chase losses. We still occasionally have to learn that discipline as well, but we're telling you from experience, don't do it, because it's the quickest way to burn your bankroll.
Yeah. The only thing chasing a loss will do is guarantee you a bad outcome, right? you hear very few stories of somebody chasing and it actually working out for them, right? And here's the other problem, especially with non-disciplined gamblers, right? You brought up a good point where when you talk to people, oh, I chase my loss, but I know if I play the disciplined way, I'll be fine, right? People who are less experienced, right, who go on that chase and maybe it works out that they get back to even or they get up a little bit. Well, now they're like, well, I could play this way all the time. No.
But that's the illusion. That's the illusion that winning on a chased loss does to you, because it makes you think that that previous loss didn't happen. No, it happened, and you lost a chunk of your bankroll, and you need to recognize that it happened and don't do it again. I don't know. It's like preaching to the choir, man.
Yeah.
We put it, that's why we put in the title, chase your dreams, don't chase losses, because you just don't want to be there. It's not a good place. And if it's something that you continuously keep doing and not learn from it, go ahead and call 800 Gambler, whatever that 800 number is, because
in the description.
you now have a problem.
Yeah. And it is a problem for a lot of people. And you will see people consistently chase losses. I mean, even the people who shell out more money at the table, right? Let's say you buy in and you go back to your wallet and you buy in for more and you buy in for more. That's chasing your losses, right? That's what it is. You bought in for X, you lost X. Now you're going to buy in for more. And typically when they buy in for more, they play stupid, right? Rarely do they keep doing what they were doing. They're usually doing something even dumber than what they started with. And they buy in for more and they keep doing all this kind of stuff. Bad way to play.
I told you about the couple that I saw, and the husband bought in for $3,000, didn't know the rules, just started placing and hopping and shit. His wife's behind him. He loses the 3,000, buys in for another 3,000. She's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I got this, babe. I got this. I can do this." Plays it again, loses another $3,000, is about to go to his wallet for like another grand, and his wife storms off. And she's like, "I'm going to bed. This is ridiculous. You asshole." And she walks away. I've already told the story about the guy at Tropicana, Chris, who was the blackjack table, and he did $1,000 in a hand, lost it. He did it 5 more times. Tell me that. I mean, that's the worst case of chasing losses that I've ever seen, which is shelling out money after losing it and shelling out money. If I'm chasing a loss with a $300 bankroll, shame on me for doing that. But again, I knew I was willing to lose 300 and I wound up losing 300, but I'm not doing that with thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know. It's a different mindset with some people. Some people just like to watch money burn.
Yeah. And that guy, right, that was playing $1,000 hands of blackjack, probably because he's down a couple thousand. So he thinks if I play $1,000 hand, I can get it all back. Right. I mean, even this morning, right, when I was at the casino this morning, did I lose? Yes. Did it suck? Sure. Did I sit there and chase the loss? No. Did I have more money with me? Sure. Was I going to shell it out? Absolutely not. The other thing is, did my bets change when I was losing? Mm-mm. When I play blackjack, it's flat bets most of the time. Most of the time. There's some specific instances where I deviate off that, but flat bets, right? And we've talked about it with Bruce with the progression. That's still flat betting, right? If you play at a certain level and then you go up a level and then back down a level, that's still basically flat betting, right? It's a progression, but
just changing
the essence of the system is made that way. It's basically flat betting. All right. So, but there was a guy who was at the table this morning who was playing with $15 table, $15 hand, lost it, $25 hand, lost it, $50 hand, lost it, $100 hand, lost it. What did he do? Well, he had no money in front of him, so he had to go to his wallet and get more. For what? A $200 hand that he did hit on. He won the $200 hand, right? After playing for, I don't know, 15 more minutes. The 400 that he had in front of him, gone. Why? Because when you keep chasing and you get in that mentality, it sets up terrible habits and bad discipline.
He probably got the 200, got all excited because he won the 200, but now he has a habit and he went back and did it again and then lost the rest of it.
Yep. And this is a problem too, right? With social media really, makes you want to chase losses even more, right? Why? Because the clips that you see on social media that draw the clicks and the reactions and the attention are usually those ones where emotion is super involved. For you, the viewer, you have zero impact on this video. Let me tell you something. It's already recorded. What happened in this video has already happened in real life, but you're sitting there on the edge of your seat watching this guy do something, right? And when you start feeling that pressure of like, $100 bet, lost it, $200 bet, lost it, $400 bet, lost it, $800 bet, lost it, $1,600 bet, you're sitting there like, come on, hit this, hit this. It has zero impact on you, but you got emotional about it. You were watching the whole thing, right? That's what it's there for. That's how people get views, and that's how people get more views and monetization and all that kind of stuff by you watching the entire thing. But you wanted to get in the person's head practically and experience it with them.
But what's happening at the table? It's the emotion. You're getting the people that they're getting angry and more angry and more angry. And now you've got people yelling at the chips. Now they're saying it's the dealer's fault. They start blaming people, and it's all because they were chasing losses. Not good. Not good.
Not good at all. Not good at all.
This whole episode has felt like a what the fuck.
Yeah, literally. Literally. We just titled the episode What the Fuck?
Fuck. Time for what the fuck?
It is time for What the Fuck.
What the fuck?
Warning.
The thoughts and comments in the next segment may trigger you. If you are triggered, seek help from someone who cares.
All right, we've been talking about, making terrible decisions, chasing your losses. Craig, you know what the hell has been terrible recently?
Fucking weather, man.
Oh my goodness. What the fuck is up with the atmosphere, man? Like, dumping snow, dumping ice, doing all this shit. Like, I'm over the snow, for one. I mean, it's cute and pretty for a day. I'm going with it now. Like, please get off my grass. Leave. My dog doesn't like it. I don't like it. And it just causes a mess. You do know that, again, going back to this morning, dropped the wife off at the airport. You know the Philadelphia International Airport on Wednesday, 3 days after it snowed, has 2 runways cleared. It's a friggin' international airport. They got 2 runways cleared.
How do you not have fucking a bunch of Caterpillar vehicles on standby?
Yeah. She was telling me when they're taxiing to the runway, it's like driving on snow. She said our street looks better. I'm like, I'm glad our municipality, where my taxes go, can clean the street better than the airport that has planes that are reaching way higher speeds than any damn car on my street.
I think they need to lower the amount of inches that indicate blizzard, because I think blizzard should be based on the amount of disruption to society that these fucking storms do. There's nothing but fucking mountains house to house around here. And it wasn't until, I don't know, wasn't until 72 hours after the storm hit that a fucking mini Bobcat, Caterpillar, whatever you want to call it, little bulldozer was pushing snow to the island so people could park. I mean, Jesus. It's like the past couple of storms, they don't want to clear the streets in the neighborhoods. I don't give a fuck if everything looks fucking peachy keen on the fucking bypass or the highway. How about you fucking come into my neighborhood so I can get to the fucking highway?
Yeah, without spinning all over the place. I mean, what the fuck? And you also know I have a qualm and a problem with a specific group of people. The meteorologists, man.
Yeah.
These people, all right, let me tell you, when I come back in the next life, I want to be a goddamn meteorologist, because I would get paid to talk and have my face on TV. And who gives a shit if I'm right? Nobody cares, right? Because when I'm right, I get to take all the credit. Oh, look at me. I was right. Yada, yada, yada. When I'm wrong, the model was off. The storm shifted slightly. I get that the atmosphere has a lot to do with it, right? And you can't be totally accurate on your predictions. Craig, let me tell you something. When this storm was coming this past weekend, there was channels saying 5 inches of snow, channels saying 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it went from 5 to 6 inches to 8 to 14. And where do you get off with the fucking range of 6 fucking inches? You can't get it closer. You can get the fucking temperature within a fucking couple of degrees, but you can't get the amount of snow that might happen. Like, I really don't get it. You know, you can have all your fucking Doppler radar and don't brag about your fucking sweeps on your radar, because guess what? you're fucking wrong, because I've lived in Maryland most of my life, all my life, and I've seen local television stations say it's going to snow. And what happens? It's fucking 80 degrees and sunny and not a fucking cloud in the sky. So you ain't right all the time. And the fact that you're getting paid millions on predictions, I want that job.
Me
I want
too.
it.
Craig, I think we need to start the Full of Chips Weather Channel or something. I mean, we'll just sit here, I'm gonna say it's the middle of June. I see some precipitation in the atmosphere. Well, last week it was 85 degrees. This upcoming week, because of a cold front coming from the northwest, it's gonna be 65 degrees. We may see snow.
I happen to think that maybe we should become craps persons where we forecast somebody's bankroll. Larry's gonna go into the casino, and he's expected to lose about $800 to $1,200 during that last section. I think if we can do that, because if we're wrong, it doesn't matter. If Larry wins $1,600, great for him, but we're not wrong. We were just predicting that might happen. Maybe we
Yeah.
can predict people's bankrolls. I don't know.
Yeah, or predict how long someone's gonna roll at the craps table. Or predict, say the blackjack table, dealer's got a 6 up. Craig, the radar that I was watching, we're looking at a 5-card 21 coming. And then the people at the table are going to get all mad at us. Like, we're the ones who put the cards there.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and I don't know why I'm tying it into this. If there were sports betting for the number of rolls per shooter at a craps table, I know your ass would have at least one bet.
Oh, are you kidding me? One bet? Craig, one bet? Come on now. You know me well enough. I mean, shit, I'd be betting all the time on this.
It'd be like plus 8,000 for if a pit boss ruins the session. Like something so
Yeah.
rare.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like minus 20,000 for a dealer to fuck your bet up. That's just the way it is.
Minus
But
1,000 for someone to go on tilt, right? Someone to start chasing their loss. Might be plus 500 for someone to flat bet. What
Right.
the fuck?
What the fuck, man?
What the fuck? All right. What a great what the fuck segment. Now time for one of our favorite segments on the entire podcast, the top five. And our top 5 today is the top 5 reasons you should not be afraid of the craps table.
Don't be afraid of it.
Right, Craig?
Don't be afraid.
It's a common fear for people. Some people are afraid of spiders, some people are afraid of the dark, some people are afraid of the craps table.
Now look, I can agree to the title of the top 5 because I was one. I was one that avoided the craps table for 20 years. It felt too complicated, but you know what? It's not. I think the first persons to tell you is probably my number 5. The dealers are actually going to tell you they want you to succeed. Craps crews are some of the most helpful people at the craps table. Most often, we know some craps dealers that are pretty shitty, but for beginning players, dealers most times are helpful, especially the ones that will take you and say, "Why don't you come over here with your chips and your rail and stay close to me, and we'll work this out together," which is how I learned the game of craps when I decided to actually approach a table. So dealers actually want you to succeed is my number 5.
There you go. It's a good number 5. My number 5 is, yes, the table looks complicated. We've said it a lot. It's not that complicated. So my number 5 is, you can start with very simple bets. No need to worry about complicated shit. It'll all make sense soon enough. There's plenty of simple bets that you can make on the table that you don't even have to worry about that much. Simple is easy, and that's my number 5. You can make simple bets. Craig, number 4.
Like flat betting? Flat betting sounds simple.
I mean, that may have been written when I was thinking about flat betting.
Probably.
Probably.
All right, number 4, the energy carries you. Craps is the only game where the whole table wins together. You're not alone. You're part of a team. That shared momentum makes learning feel natural.
There you go. I like that one. My number 4 is, craps has some of the best odds in the casino. So don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Learn the game. It's going to be some of your best odds in the entire casino, right? Depending on the bets you place on the table, that's what's going to determine your odds. But The craps table has some of the best odds along with blackjack. So embrace it, learn the game, enjoy the odds. Because hopefully they'll be in your favor. Number 3, Craig.
All right, number 3. You don't need to know every bet to play. Nobody at the table knows everything. Even seasoned players ignore half the layout. You can play confidently with just a few core moves.
There you go. There you go. My number 3, we've heard it. The dealers are going to help you out. It's their job. They're literally there to work the table. They will help you. They will explain things if you need things explained. Just be nice about it. Let them know. Ask them questions. Pick the easy bets. Don't worry about the confusing shit. You're not interrupting them. You're participating in the game and trying to learn a new game. All right, Craig, number 2.
Number 2, the table may look complicated, but you don't have to be. Most of the layout is for bets you'll never touch. Stick to the basics, pass line, 6-8, and suddenly the whole thing feels simple.
I like it. I like it. My number 2 is you don't have to roll the dice to have fun. No need to be the shooter. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just sit there. You can bet. You can learn by watching. You don't have to shoot the dice. All right, Craig, number 1 reason to not be afraid of the craps table.
All right, my number 1 reason to not be afraid of the craps table. It's the most fun you'll have with chips. Once you get rolling, craps becomes less about rules and more about rhythm. The dice, the cheers, and the hits, it's a rush that's worth stepping into. Because we've all have been to a casino when we were beginning players and we're like, what the hell is that noise? And guess what? That noise is coming from the craps table.
Our number 1s overlap quite nicely. Craps is the most social game in the casino, so don't shy away from it, right? On slots, blackjack, other games, there may be some cheering, not like at the craps table. The cheering at the craps table, believe me, you'll know when somebody's cheering at the craps table. You win together, you lose together. The table is there to help you. It's one of those games where you actually want everybody to win most of the time, right? Regardless of the don't players and other stuff. Like, most of the table is winning together, right? Blackjack, individual game. Yes, you can root for the rest of the table, but for the most part, you only care if you're winning, right? When you're playing craps, if you're winning, hopefully everybody else is winning. And if everybody else is winning, hopefully you're winning. It's the most social game. It's the most fun game. So have fun. Don't be afraid of it and play it.
I think Chris and I have told you before, when it's blackjack, it's just us and the dealer. It's just me and the dealer. That's all I think about. And sometimes I don't even look at the fucking players to my right if I'm in 6th position. Just me and the dealer. That's all it needs to be. But craps is so fun when, like you said, things are hitting and everybody's cheering and the whole table has a rush. It's just awesome. And we're not talking about like when a bonus bet hits or a fire bet hits. Yeah, those are exhilarating too. I'm talking about like when that person hits like that 4th 8 and you have it pressed up and maybe you just pressed it up and maybe it was back-to-back 8s. So you got paid pretty good, pressed it up. Maybe you were a little hesitation or had a little hesitation when you pressed it up even more because you got a little bit more aggressive because you were already up, and then it hits again. And then like people are just fucking going nuts. It's such a rush. You're right.
Yeah,
it's a social thing.
It's a social thing, and more people should be aware of it and embrace the game. You know what people should also embrace, Craig?
The tip of the episode.
The tip of the episode. Yes, people should always embrace tips from the Full of Chips podcast because hopefully our tips leave you more full of chips. So,
This is
Craig,
an interesting
what is our tip
one.
of the episode?
This is an interesting one. Bet the 4 and 10, people. They pay well. They're the best paying box numbers on the layout without losing your buy-in or on prop bet action and shit like that. 2-to-1 odds are pretty fucking awesome and rewarding, even though you may have to have a vig taken out. So what? I mean, playing a quarter and winning $50 minus a vig is pretty fucking fun. And if you're flat betting, guess what? It hits again. You just made basically $100 minus 2 vigs. You know, I mean, come on. You can't beat that. They're perfect for players who want occasional big hits, but don't want to be very aggressive with the nickel and dime payouts. And honestly, nothing wakes up a cold table like a 4 or 10 dropping.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes those 4 and 10s, they come in bunches. And, you can rack up a couple quick hits on those, make some nice money. And I always get people, oh, the 4 only has 3 ways to roll, the 10 only has 3 ways to roll. Guess what? You put them together, that's 6 ways to roll. You know what also has 6 ways to roll? The 7. Everyone's afraid of the 7, but you should now be afraid of the 4 and 10. You bet them together, you got the same amount of chances the 7 does. Now, will it hit statistically as much as the 7? No, but they got some nice payouts. People shouldn't shy away from them just because, they think, oh, this is never going to roll. This number's never going to roll. Why the hell do you bet the props then? They got way worse odds than the 4 and 10.
If you're going to take a shot, take one that actually pays you back,
Yeah.
You can keep grinding the 6 and 8. I'll be over here doubling up on the corners. And one thing we didn't mention, we bet the 4 and 10. Don't be afraid to lay the 4 and 10. You can only lose one of them at a time,
Yeah.
but you can win both of them at the same time.
Yeah, you can. Hopefully you don't have them placed at that time too, because then you're going to lose something. But embrace the 4 and 10. Look in flat betting, people. All right. I know it's not fancy. I know you're not going to look all flashy at the tables. Let me tell you something. There's nothing more flashy than going to the cage with more money than you bought in with.
Especially when you're full of chips.
Especially when you're full of chips. Don't chase your losses also. Don't go on tilt. If you flat bet, hopefully that'll help eliminate the chasing of your losses. Hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 27. I know Craig and I did. We had a good time. Again, I wish I recorded the first 45 minutes we were talking, but that's okay. We had some great chitter chatter in this episode. If you want to find us, email fullofchipspodcast@gmail.com. Join the Patreon. It's free. First link down below in the description. Go there.
It. Click it.
Full-length episodes, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Short-form content, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Craig, take us out on episode 27.
I think F.O.C. is going to lead us to episode 28, where I think there might be an F.O.S. award being handed out. So stay tuned for that. Stay full of chips, too.
On the